G'day, I'm Gary. I'm setting up this pond here. I'm going to use this pond liner. The recommendations for the pond liner is to set rocks along the top of it just to hold it in position. Instead of doing that, I'm going to set up some of these concrete blocks on top. To do rock work requires skill, and it also requires the right rocks to make it look nice. By using concrete instead of the rocks, I'm going to be able to set this up and it's going to look similar to rock work. What I've already done is I've mixed up the concrete and I've put it in these bags. These bags are grocery store bags. These just happen to come from Walmart. We're getting groceries delivered from Walmart, so I have these on hand. These are heavy duty, they're reusable. I rolled the sides of the bags down, hand packed some of the concrete on top of the bottom folds of the bags. Then I added enough concrete so that the end weight of the dried blocks is around 10 pounds. So out of a 60-pound bag of concrete, I get around 6 blocks. So I filled these partly with concrete, just enough to make a block that's light but heavy enough just to hold the liner down. So once I've got the concrete in the bag, I just want to position it so that it'll take a nice form. So I'll just zip up the bags. Now that will hold the moisture in and it will cure slowly. I fill other bags with sand and position them around the bags that contain the concrete. The bags of sand will create the shape that I want for the rocks. In the center, I filled these bags with wood chips just to build the height up. I'm going to do a video on the pond itself, but in today's video it's just about the concrete. Now that the sandbags are in place, the wet concrete will cure and hold the shape that I'm looking for. The thing with plastic, I like using it because the concrete doesn't stick and you can get interesting texture on your concrete work. So I'll just have a couple of other bags of sand that I'm going to sit on top. That keeps the plastic in contact with the concrete until it sets. When working with the concrete, I'm using nitrile gloves. Now these are lightweight disposable nitrile gloves. If you're going to do a lot of concrete work, I would suggest getting some nitrile work gloves. But for this, my hands aren't going to be in contact with the cement or concrete for very long. I also wear a particle mask when I'm mixing the concrete. Now that's done, I'm going to have to wait for the concrete to set. Every day I'll come back and I'll just open it up and check to see how well it's doing. I don't want to remove the concrete too early because it will crack. So what I'm waiting for is it to harden up enough just so I can remove the mold. Now that I've done that, all I need to do is remove these interlocking blocks. So I can take these out, lay down the liner, and I can replace them. This has the same curve as the kiddie pool that I'm using, and that will relieve any pressure point that would be on the liner that may damage the liner. So that will protect the liner by having a nice smooth surface on the base. I could paint it or stain it to give it more of a rock look. Right now I'm going to leave it the way it is. After about 3 days I can remove the formwork. It's just a matter of opening the bag up. Now this is set pretty good, so I can just lift it out. To get it out, I remove the block next door. When I peel back the bag, I get to see how things went. The folds in the plastic bag have produced an interesting texture. You'll probably be left with some plastic that has gotten caught in the creases of the concrete. You can remove that in a couple of ways. You can either leave it and let it naturally break down and crumble away, or you could take a propane torch and just give it a quick blast and that will vaporize the plastic. After about 3 days in our climate, the concrete has cured. It's still going to be a lot greyer than the finished colour. So it hasn't completely cured, but it's cured enough to remove the bag. So this one's come away a lot cleaner than the first one. There will be a little bit of chipping on the edges, but that's okay. That can be smoothed over with a little bit of sanding. It's just a matter of linking them back in. And it all just interlocks back. And that's it. Now this has got a nice random stone finish. I'll come back and I'll do a complete video on my pond, but for now this is basically all I wanted to say. It's very easy to work with concrete. It's a lot easier than working with rock. I could have used my cement mixer and poured this all at once. Instead I chose to do it slowly with the wheelbarrow. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.